ranking all of the Toy Story movies. Now, the Toy Story movies are among my favorite movies of all time, and I can't wait to rank them, so let's begin, shall we? For number 5, we got Lightyear. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. This film just really sucks. I did not want to see it in the theaters because I knew it was doomed from the beginning, and I did a good job staying away from the theaters. I eventually watched it on Disney Plus whenever it came out on there. And I just hated it, man. It was just a terrible film, all in all. For number 4, we got Toy Story 4. Now, I don't hate Toy Story 4 per se. In fact, it was my favorite film I went to go see in 2019, and also my favorite movie that came out that year in general. Now, I think Toy Story 4 is a pretty good movie, but compared to the other 3, I don't like it as much. For number 3, we got Toy Story 3. Now, a lot of people say that Toy Story 3 is the weakest of the main Toy Story trilogy, and they might like Toy Story 4 a little better, but I strongly disagree, because I like Toy Story 3 way better. I thought it was enjoyable. I love the new characters they introduced. I love the villain, a Lotso Hugging Bear. I kind of seen it coming, but also not at the same time. Yeah, Toy Story 3 was just a great film. And I think you guys know what's for 1 and 2. For number 2, we got the original Toy Story. Ah, yes. The 1995 film that both defined animation and Pixar as a whole. I don't know what else to say. Toy Story is an absolute classic. It's a masterpiece from beginning all the way to the end. This is the first film I've ever sat from my house, the first DVD I've ever owned, eventually the first Blu-ray I've ever owned, and the first movie I've ever fell in love with, because at a very early age, I fell in love with this movie. I am absolutely obsessed with it. Now, I bet a lot of you guys were expecting this to be number 1, but for number 1, I'm going with Toy Story 2. Now, I know what you guys are saying out there. Ross, nothing beats the original. And I can kind of see your point. But this film in particular is one of those rare sequels that lives up to its predecessor. The sequel that taught me that not all movie sequels have to be bad. It is not only the best Pixar sequel, the best Disney sequel, the best theatrical sequel, or the best sequel in general, but probably my favorite sequel of all time, and possibly my favorite Pixar movie, and also my favorite Disney movie. And since I said earlier that the Toy Story movies are my favorite, this has to be my all-time favorite movie in the world. So comment down below what your favorite Toy Story movie is and why. Ranking all of the Cars movies. Now, after making my video of ranking all the Toy Story movies, I thought to myself, maybe I should rank my other favorite Pixar franchise, and my other favorite Pixar franchise happens to be Cars, so here I am going to rank all 3 Cars movies, so here we go. For number 3, we got Cars 2. Now, a lot of people will put Cars 2 as their least favorite, because I know a lot of people dislike Cars 2, and yeah, I'm not going to pretend to see why. Honestly, Cars 2 didn't even feel like a Cars sequel. It felt like a 2-hour-long version of one of those Mater's Tall Tales cartoons. Now, even though a lot of people really disliked Cars 2 and put it down as probably not only the worst Cars film ever, but the worst Pixar film ever, and one of the worst animated movies in general. But honestly, I kind of liked Cars 2. Upon rewatching it, I thought I was going to hate it, but I kind of liked Cars 2. Now, Mater did annoy me a lot. And I thought Mater wasn't going to annoy me because I remember really enjoying the Mater's Tall Tales. And Mater was tolerable in the Mater's Tall Tales because, like, the Mater's Tall Tales were, like, shorts. By short, I mean they were only, like, 2 to 3 minutes long. They're really not that long. But over 2 hours of Mater as the main character, yeah, I can see why Cars 2 failed. Other than that, Cars 2 was pretty alright, all things considered. For number 2, we got Cars 3. Now, I actually saw this one in theaters during opening weekend, and I thought I was going to hate it due to the financial flop of Cars 2. But I watched it, and I actually really, really liked Cars 3. It was so much better than Cars 2. Cars 3 felt like the true sequel to Cars. Unlike Cars 2, where, like, it mostly focused on Mater, Mater was put in the background. As in Cars 1, Mater was funny, but he wasn't the main character. He was more of like a side character, the comic relief character. But here, Mater only appeared in like 3 scenes, and those scenes are only like 1 to like 30 seconds long, yeah. But yeah, Cars 3, great sequel, but I think you know what number 1 is. For number 1, I'm going with the original Cars. Now, a lot of people say Cars is probably like Pixar's weakest franchise, and it started their downfall after all of their classic films. Reminders, some of their classic films made before Cars were Toy Story, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, Incredibles, and A Bug's Life, if anyone remembers that. But yeah, Cars is probably a childhood favorite movie of mine. I absolutely adore this movie. Not just for nostalgia. I mean, I thought it was going to be all childish upon rewatch, but I actually found some adult jokes that are funny to me now because I understand them, and I didn't understand them whenever I was a little kid. But yeah, a lot of Pixar fans aren't the biggest fan of Cars, but I absolutely love Cars. Comment down below, what is your favorite Cars movie and why? Ranking all of the Ice Age movies. Now, after ranking all the Toy Story movies and all the Cars movies, I thought it was time to rank another animated movie franchise I really adore. And when I was thinking, Ice Age came to my mind, so I thought, why not rank the Ice Age movies? So in this video, I'll rank all 5 Ice Age movies. So let's begin, shall we? For number 5, we got Ice Age 5 Collision Course. Now, here is probably the most questionable animated movie ever, and probably one of the most questionable movies ever, Ice Age Collision Course. Now, as a franchise finale, they could have been better, honestly. Now, I understand the 5 main Ice Age movies are supposed to be the evolution of the world, but something that surprises me is all 5 Ice Age movies take place thousands of years apart, and yet it's the same set of animals. Either these animals live to be thousands of years, or the Ice Age takes place in this alternate metaverse where time goes extremely fast and they were able to keep the same set of animals. I don't know, I just thought this movie was really strange, and I question it every single rewatch. For number 4, we have Ice Age 3, Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Now, a lot of people will say that their second least favorite Ice Age movie was Ice Age 4, Continental Drift. Now, honestly, I kind of liked Continental Drift. It wasn't the greatest movie I've ever seen, but it was alright. But if I were to have a second least favorite Ice Age movie, it'd be Dawn of the Dinosaurs. I don't know, I could never get into this one. I didn't think it was the best movie. And the characters of the dinosaurs were extremely annoying. Like, the original Ice Age was supposed to take place during the Ice Age before the dinosaurs, so I kind of hate seeing dinosaurs in the Ice Age. I get it, they wanted the world to evolve during this franchise, but still, they could have made this a better movie, honestly. For number 3, we have Ice Age 4, Continental Drift. Now, a lot of people say Continental Drift is probably their second least favorite Ice Age movie, but I disagree, because I actually kind of enjoyed Continental Drift. Now, there were some things that bugged me in it. Yes, like, where are the dinosaurs at? Didn't we see the dinosaurs in Dawn of the Dinosaurs? Like, where are they at now? Like, did they go extinct? If they did go extinct, I wanted them to explain it to us. And also, they bring back the ice as well, even though we barely even seen it in Dawn of the Dinosaurs. I don't know, those are my only nitpicks. Other than that, Continental Drift was alright. But I think you guys know what's for 1 and 2. For number 2, we got Ice Age 2, The Meltdown. As a continuation of world history, we got Ice Age 2, The Meltdown. And The Meltdown was actually a really great sequel. In fact, it is a very underrated sequel and probably one of the most underrated films ever. Seriously, I could literally be watching it instead of talking to you guys. But I took this time to talk to you guys instead. In fact, whenever I'm done filming this video, I might watch The Meltdown. Or possibly the original as well. You know what? I will. But let's finish this. But The Meltdown, really, really great sequel. Lives up to its predecessor. Not as great, but lives up to it. And I think you guys know what's for number 1. For number 1, I'm going with the original Ice Age. Other than me not getting used to that weird looking baby, which, why is he in this thing in the first place? Oh well, back to the video. Other than that weird looking baby, this film is absolutely awesome. By awesome, I mean is genuinely Toy Story and Cars levels of awesome. Maybe not that awesome, but pretty great movie. Now, the animation isn't the best. I mean, I kind of expected that. I mean, this movie was released over 22 years ago. But even for 22 years ago, the animation was spectacular. Imagine audience back in the early 2000s looking at Ice Age and thinking, wow, this is the next step for computer animation. But yeah, anyway, Ice Age, great movie. Now, comment down below your favorite Ice Age movie and why. Ranking all of the Shrek movies. Now, I rank the Toy Story movies, I rank the Cars movies, and I also rank the Ice Age movies. Now it's time to rank the big daddy of animated movie franchises with Shrek. So let's begin, shall we? For number 7, we got Shrek Forever After. Now, if you watched my 10-minute review over Shrek Forever After, you know how I feel about it. Just in case you didn't, well, what are you waiting for? Get out of this one, watch that one, and come back to this one. Welcome back. Well, anyway, I absolutely despise this film, and the only film in the Shrek series I actually have a problem with, so let's move on. For number 6, we got Shrek the Musical. Yes, I'm even including the Broadway musical based off Shrek, since apparently streaming apps such as Netflix and Prime Video list this as a film, so why not include it? Now, I think they did a pretty good job adapting Shrek and made all the filler and putting it into a longer time slot work. But if I were to watch Shrek, I'd just stick to the regular 3 movies. For number 5, we got Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Now, this might sound crazy coming from me since I absolutely love animated movies, but I haven't seen it yet. Yes, the biggest lover of animated movies who's ever existed has not seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish yet. Now, I did see some trailers for it, and it actually did look pretty good. In fact, once I'm done filming this, I might go watch it. But anyway, this looks pretty good, but let's move on. For number 4, we got Puss in Boots. For a spin-off based off one of Shrek's most fan-favorite characters, it actually did a pretty good job. I remember seeing this one time when I was 6. I really liked it, and I don't remember having other rewatches of it, even though I could have possibly rewatched it again. Now, I thought it was pretty good, but I like the first 3 Shreks better. And speaking of the first 3 Shreks, for number 3, we got Shrek the Third. Now, I know a lot of people really despise Shrek the Third, and I can see why. I mean, that was this huge fan theory that it's not part of the main Shrek canon, which I already made a video about that. Well, what are you waiting for? Get out of this video and check that one out and eventually come back. Welcome back, my friends. I hope I changed the way you watch Shrek the Third forever. Well, anyway, Shrek the Third is very underrated, but I think you guys know it's for 1 and 2. For number 2, we got the original Shrek. Ah yes, the 2001 animated movie that was such a smash hit, it technically killed traditional animation as we know it today. Well, anyway, Shrek is a phenomenon. This film is absolutely awesome. It is a masterpiece from beginning all the way to the end. Now, I would have put this as number 1, but for number 1, I'm going with Shrek 2. Now, I know a lot of people say that the first Shrek was the best one, and I can kind of see that. I mean, the first Shrek technically revolutionized computer animated movies, if you really think about it. But this is the definition of a perfect sequel. It may not be Toy Story 2 levels of perfection, but it was such a great film. This is not only my favorite Shrek movie, but possibly my favorite DreamWorks movie, and probably my favorite movie ever that's not a Disney movie, because I love Disney movies, but I also really love this at the same time. Well, anyway, Shrek 2, great sequel. In my opinion, the best Shrek ever. Now, comment down below your favorite Shrek movie and why.